Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, that scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blast.
To this day, to this day.
From TV.
To this day, to this day.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, that scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blast.
To this day.
TV.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields. And interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube. And fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Sacrilegious Sundays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. And that right there, that is Theta Waves featuring the Twin Pillars. Peace to everybody in the building. Let's go. All right. All my night owls and whatnot, my late nighters, what's popping? How's everybody doing? Let's go ahead. Let's do the roll call. Let's see who's in the building and let's get this thing going. You know what I'm talking about? We got a lot to talk about tonight and we will be here for a minute. So I'm just giving y'all the heads up for everybody on that midnight shift. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to all of my truck drivers. Hit that horn and whatnot. All of my late nighters, all of my West Coastians, where it's not even late where y'all at. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. You know what I'm talking about? All of my East Coasters, and it's the midnight hours. Yeah, burn that midnight oil. You know what I'm talking about? Roll something up. We in the building. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the KT aliens. You dig? Let's do this roll call. Let's see who's in the building. Okay. We got Hawaii in the building. We got Kansas City in the building. Twin Cities in the building. We got H-Town in the building. H-Town in the building. Southside. Pearland in the Dover, Delaware in the building. Southeast, DC in the building. We got Philly in the building. DC is in the building. San Jose, South Kakalaka. We have Massachusetts, New Bedford. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Massachusetts is in the building. Savannah, Georgia. ATL in the building, Miami, Detroit, we tapping in. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to Charlestown, Wilmington, South Central up in this thing. We have Vegas in the building, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Boston, Vegas again. Yes, yes. Griffin, Georgia. Los Angeles, South Central. That's right. Let's go. Fort Lauderdale, we got Pittsburgh. We also have Cali. Guam is here. Shout out to Guam. Austin is in the building. Kenya. Shout out to Kenya. Iowa. Pittsburgh. Austin again. Oh, we deep tonight. Chicago. What's popping? Covington. What's happening? Jackson. Jacktown, Mississippi. Memphis is in the building tonight. All right. Cincinnati, Ohio. Dalton, Alabama. Pulling up. We got Santa Barbara. Long Island, aka Strong Island. What it do though, man? So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. We did an early pre-show. We were outside having conversations and whatnot. If you are not, if you was not tapped into that, definitely check us out on the replay when you're done with this. It was a great build and whatnot. We were talking some hip hop talk. along with some other things. But tonight is a whole different angle that we will be approaching. We're gonna go a little cosmic with it. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna go a little cosmic with it, and we're gonna tie some things together. And of course, we have a lot of visual video evidence to back up some of our predictions and claims and whatnot. The title of this episode is BARBAULT'S Basket, Black Boy Joy. BARBAULT'S Basket, Black Boy Joy. Okay. And we're going to make some observations, and I'm going to inform everybody about BARBAULT'S Basket. Unbeknownst to some of us, maybe not all of us, but unbeknownst to some of us, we are currently in the throes of a super duper very, very, very powerful alignment in the universe, and we need to know all about this. Beautiful thing is, it started today. Okay, so we do have our time. This is about mass meditation. I'm gonna make a call for a mass meditation either on the 21st or the 22nd. I'm gonna tap in with all of my quote unquote networks tomorrow, and we're gonna see what we could pull off, because it is definitely time to collectively tap into this power. I saw the world collectively tapping in today for the FIFA games. How many of y'all tapped into the FIFA game? Please don't act too cool for TV, because the Mondim, you know what I mean? Let's just the Mondim around the world tapped in on a collective wave to root for who they wanted to win. And I'm just bringing that up because I'm showing you how powerful collective consciousness can be. The shit was fire. I was on the edge of my seat and whatnot. I was watching it through the eyes of I Show Speed, because he was streaming it and whatnot. And I don't know. I don't even watch sports the regular way no more. I watch it through the eyes of the streamers. I watch sports through the eyes of the reactors. That's how I intake my quote unquote entertainment or my sports. And I wasn't the biggest sports guy. Like, I can't sit down. It might be my ADHD. I don't know. I'm not even going to say that, but I can't just sit through a whole game. I need excitement. I need excitement. I need to see how other people are reacting. You feel me? I like that stuff. But that's just there was an observation that I made today. And this observation, I made this whole observation for the past few days. Now, I'm gonna paint the picture as to where I'm at. I'm at my dad's house, right? So I'm in New York. I'm with my father. I got my daughter with me. I got Amir pulling up. You feel me? So the mind state is a little bit different than when I'm in Atlanta and I'm in other places. So it's like a father and son thing going on right now. So over the past few days, through the outlet of sports, right? Now people could get all, Brother Red, I don't even, that's bread and circus and all right, whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah, you finished? All right, cool. Sports, right? The power of sports is that it brings people together. The power of sports is the fact that it does work as a bonding agent. The power of sports is that it is something that you collectively you participate in collectively. It's not one of those things where it's an individual type of thing. Okay. It's not one of those things where it's an individual type of thing. This is something that you could sit at the dinner table. You could break the ice and talk about sports with people. You could bond over a game and whatnot. People are in bars, crowded. They were in the streets. I didn't go to none of the FIFA celebrations because I just don't want to be fake. I could have been. I was in Atlanta, and I'm not gonna put a soccer jersey on and go drink beer with niggas from England, because that's just not what I do on a regular basis. So unless I'm getting some bread and whatnot, or I was like, I'm not doing it. But to watch the game with the family, that's another thing. I'll get into that and I'll tap into that energy, because a victory is a victory. I don't care how we get it. A victory is a victory. And keep in mind, for the past few months, there's been this great bonding principle coming through the sports. Now, I don't care. We've done the bread and circus shows, part 1, part 2, part 3. I did my community service. I did all of the conspiracy shit. You know what I mean? I got all of that out the way. Bread and circus, cool. Roman Coliseum, Odyssey type thing. All right, great. But now when you get that out the way, right? That I did my trauma bonding. When you get that out the way, let's talk about the power of the situation. Let's talk about the metaphysics of it. Let's talk about the real principles behind all of these things. We talked about effervescence before, right? We got into the effervescence aspect of what we witnessed in New York City when the Knicks won the championship. Right now, I want you to remember this. When it came to the Knicks winning the championship, there was a principle that we were witnessing through number 11, and his name was Brunson. Brunson was there to do what? Avenge his father. Okay, Brunson was there to avenge his father. Black boy joy, a black man who not only had his father in his life, but his father was active in his life. His father created Brunson. He created the mega athlete, the athlete who beat the whole entire league, the underdog who was too short, who was counted out. They didn't think he could do it. The Knicks were counted out, but especially Brunson. They got people on camera, on tape, on record saying, yeah, he don't got what it takes. The New York Knicks is bugging, right? His father was the one who groomed him, who put him together, who basically polished him, not through babying him, not through coddling him, not through letting him just slide. No, by standing on business and by being a coach before he was the father, right? Coaching his son to victory. The Heru story, or what they would call the Osirian myth. The Osirian myth, we see it show up throughout. They talk about the Odyssey as an old story. What about the Osirian myth? What about the hero's journey, or what they call the Heru's journey? But the Osirian myth is the oldest story ever told. Go Google that. The Osirian myth, the story of the son that avenges the father. Where do you see this pop up? Oh, thank you for asking. Star Wars. Where else do you see? Well, Star Wars is really the hero's journey. Lion King, my G, right? Let me see. Kung Fu movies. Wait a minute. All of the spaghetti westerns. Okay. The story about the son, the evil uncle, right, who betrays the father, and the son is avenging the father's death. That is the oldest story told in humanity. Go and Google it. Okay, the Osirian myth. For all of my Bible thumpers out there who, you know what I mean, who believe, that story precedes other stories and whatnot. So the theme that I've been seeing over the past, ever since the summer started, right, is black men winning. Okay, now we could talk about the things that are going on the unseen, right? Because Nolan Wells and all of these stories about these black men, they're not being killed on film. It's the unseen. These are sort of like unsolved mysteries, right? So it's something going on in the quote unquote darkness. It's something going on outside. It's not being done on camera like how they were doing things before. These things are being done in the dark, right? But that's not what we focusing on. The winning that is taking place in the light, the winning, the fact that our men, black boys, when they're trying to write us off, when they're trying to say that these people are, listen, the driving force of all of these sports, the driving force of all of these victories are black men. Let's talk about it. Okay. And it just so happens that these men have their fathers in their lives, right? These are the prodigal sons. The brother right there for the with the brother holding up the champion bell that you see on the flyer right there, right? From the St. Louis Cardinals, right? His dad was right there. His dad is responsible for he went Super Saiyan at the goddamn home run derby, right? Destroyed the prospects of the mayonnaise madness, whoever they was all rooting against them and whatnot, and he cracked that bat on them so many, he was just bodying them right in their face. They were having mayonnaise meltdowns online. I seen it in real time. Okay, then of course you have the young god Yamil, right, who just did his thing today at the FIFA and took a whole legend down, right? Took a whole legend down, and he's not only thrust into the spotlight, his mama is thrusted into the spotlight, but his father is thrusted into the spotlight, and his little brother is thrusted into his spotlight. The young god, his younger brother, is the star of a world event. Don't tell me this shit is not rigged. I mean, there's aspects of things that are rigged, but then there's aspects of this power that's coming through that is not scripted. That is, if it is scripted, it's scripted by the gods. You understand? Sent Argentina on a fishing trip. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's scripted by the gods. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to walk this dog, you know what I mean? Because this is about acknowledgement. This is about, I don't think nobody on the internet is even looking at things from this angle. Not to say that this is some, that I'm the only one. No, but we need more of this. We need more people speaking more positively about the things that are going on, right? And not just in entertainment or in the public's eye and whatnot. Big up your wins. You understand? Big up your victories and whatnot. Big up your whatever strives that you're making. Don't feel like you can't speak on it. Don't feel like you can't stand on that. You feel me? There's so much hate. There's so much division. There's so much talking down. There's so much goddamn conspiracy. Nobody can do nothing without these goddamn conspiratorial retards running around trying to give the power to somebody else. I'm taking it back. Fuck you mean? I'm taking it back. When do we get the power? Y'all tripping. Y'all be out here wilding. When do we get the power? When is this about us? Let's get into BARBAULT'S basket so we understand what the hell going on, and then we will continue. One of the biggest astrological events of the year, Ashe.
Is bringing one of the biggest astrological events of the year. Andre Barbeau, the astrologer who predicted the 2020 pandemic, said the rare alignment, now called Barbeau's basket, peaking this week could trigger a relaunch of civilization. But before civilization relaunches, let's see what it means for you. Instead of looking at this as one giant portal to your future, think of it like 3 outer planets building the stage and Jupiter in Leo turning on the spotlight. Let's break it down. Connection 1. Jupiter trines Neptune. Your vision gets faith. But without grounding, vision can become delusion with excellent branding. Connection 2. Jupiter sextiles Uranus. The new idea gets an opening. A tool, a conversation, or an opportunity reveals a path to success the old plan missed. Connection 3. Jupiter opposes Pluto. Growth meets power. This can fuel transformation or let ego and control hijack the whole production. So this week is the battle between the freedom of who you are becoming and the false safety of who you had to be. Think of it like this. Neptune says imagine it, Uranus says update it, Pluto says transform it, Jupiter says let it grow, and your past says wait until it feels safe. That's what to expect. Here's what to do about it. Take one action the old version of you has been postponing and make it visible. It would be nice if Barbeau's basket was delivering your future fully assembled, but it's not. The stage is built, the lighting is fantastic, but you still have to direct the show. So the question is, will the fear of your past or the wisdom of your future direct your present? And if you want a detailed breakdown of how all this energy will affect your individual sign, check out the full video on my YouTube channel. The link is in my bio.
Continue. We got more cloth on this whole situation, but he brought up something very interesting, right? As we watched as we watch Spain, as we watch the young black boy, the two black men who are the stars of today's FIFA championship, they were going against the odds. They were going against the legends. They were going up against Argentina. They didn't just say, oh, we was going to win because, because we want to win. No, they had to put in the work. They had to work to win. They just didn't win because, we the new upstarts. And no. They had to put in that work. And that is exactly what is being called of us. The brother who won the home run championship, he was against all odds. He was against all odds. The dude in front of him was up 11 home runs. He was against all odds. He had to put in that work. He just wasn't like, oh, I'm a black man. No, this shit don't got nothing to do with race and nothing. It has to do with ability. It has to do with your willpower. That's what this is about. Has nothing to do with anything but that. Tap in.
He predicted the pandemic. He predicted the fall of the USSR. And before he died, he had one final prediction. And it kicks off this July. I'm Sook Boy. You're awesome. Let's talk about it. In 1955, a French astrologist named André Barbault had a prediction and published it. He said that around 1989, there would be a major restructuring of the Soviet Union. In 1989, we saw the fall of the Berlin Wall, and the Soviet Union collapsed about 2 years later in 1991. Just saying. Please note that he made that call 34 years before it happened. He then turned his attention to the outer planets, or the generational planets of the 21st century, in which he identified a convergence of planets in 2020. In this period of 2020, he described a collective crisis so severe that it would bring the entire existing world order to its knees. Now, clearly, he was talking about the shitstorm that was the 2020 pandemic. I just want to highlight that this guy actually died in 2019, just before it happened. Funnily enough, he has one more standout prediction, and it starts to roll out this July. Buckle up. In particular, I want to talk about a configuration called the Barbault basket. It's actually called a cradle in astrological pattern theory, and it looks like this. In particular, this Barbault basket or cradle is made up of 4 points. This is the Pluto, 4 degrees of Aquarius, the Neptune, 4 degrees of Aries, Uranus, 4 degrees of Gemini, and finally, Jupiter, 4 degrees of Leo. Now, all I'm saying is, if André Barbault's track record means anything, we should probably understand exactly what this configuration means. Now, caveat, I know that you want to know how this aspect pattern will actually impact you. I've got you covered. Head over to my page and watch your rising sign forecast playlist. It's the very first video. I've pinned them all to the top. Very easy to find, and that will give you the nuance and insight about how July through the rest of this year and how this aspect pattern will impact you, especially if you have anything around 4 degrees of any given sign. Now, when Barbault actually saw this configuration pattern, this basket, this cradle, he actually saw it as the official breakout moment of a new civilization that actually kicked off all the way back in 2000. Meaning there is a big difference between something being born and something being operational. And indeed, he says in 2026 that this new civilization becomes operational. In a nutshell, let's set some parameters by what he exactly means. What institutions are actually for? Who controls information? What is money? And who do governments serve? If you're seeing what I'm seeing when we look at the cultural zeitgeist, none of these components of society or civilization for that matter are what we would regard as stable. This is part 1 of my interpretation of the Barbault basket. Follow along.
Occult rituals that we
Good afternoon. How are you? Hi. So, if you've been in these astrological streets, you've been hearing a lot about this new astrological, well, it's not that new. As a matter of fact, it dates back many years, hundreds of years ago, but it's called the Barbault basket. And so you've heard people talking about this. Really, what it is, I'm going to break it down for you. So really what it is that major planets are big Earth's big brothers and sisters, or Earth's big siblings, are aligning all together in the same degree. And I believe that this is in modern history the first time that that's happening. So of course we hear so many things about it, but how is this applicable to us? So we have Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune are all in this quite rare alignment where they're at the exact degrees, and that exact degree is 4. And for me, that speaks to a lot, right? Because that is the energy of the 4. The energy of the 4 is our foundation. It is our ancestral core beliefs. It is our lineage. It is our home. It is our ancestral lands, right? So when all of this massive energy, and really these 4 outer planets, I often refer to them as the gods of change because their energy is so dynamic. Their energy stays around for a very long time so that they can cause or affect changes in a major way. So we have these 4 gods of change all at 4 degrees. And that shape of it makes it a basket. So these planets are aspected in sextiles and trines. And for me, they're all working together, right, towards some greater thing. And what really is that greater thing? Well, as you know, oftentimes when I talk astrology or teach astrology, I associate it with the pantheon of Yoruba, the Yoruba pantheon. So oftentimes I call on these energies as guides for these planets in the hope that we can begin to understand them more as they occur in our life. So let's begin with Jupiter. That is the energy. So first I want to imagine if there was a council, you were sitting in front of a council of these 4 dynamic energies and you were listening to them, what would they say, right? So we have the energy of Obatala. And Obatala happens to be the energy that is most associated with Jupiter, which is that of benevolence, right? And so we are in council with Obatala. What might Obatala say? Well, I have that Obatala may say that there's no healing without truth, and that truth needs to be our foundation in order to have clarity and peace. So we're first starting off with what is the foundation that we're establishing. That has to come from a place of truth. So even if we look at our family's foundation and our ancestral lineage, well, there needs to be truth there for there to be healing in order for there to be clarity and peace. The next one is Oya. And Oya is the energy of Uranus. And so Oya may say that even though the winds of change may be battering at our doors, with a strong foundation, we can rebuild. And that whatever is not in that foundation, whatever is not designed for exactly who we are today, then that needs to go. So that could be the message that we could receive from this Uranus positioning here at 4 degrees with all these other planets. And we know that there are many changes that are impacting us, our home, our homelands, and really what is built on a strong foundation will stay, and what is built on a foundation that was lacking truth and clarity, well, that has to go. And so what would Shango or the energy of Pluto say? And I believe that it would say that true power lies in the timing of the thing, that there is a need to find your own personal rhythm, because it is then that you are most powerful. You are not walking this journey for anybody else. You are walking this journey for you. And whatever is the personal rhythm that you've developed within yourself that's aligned with who you truly are and your realest identity and that foundation, well, then that is where true power lies, right? Moving with your own rhythm at the pace that you need to move at and no one else's pace. Olokun or Neptune would probably say to us, have confidence in your visions and to look at what is behind the illusion to find the true answers. So have confidence in what you see and what you believe, and to realize that a lot of this world is made up of illusion. And we need to look behind those illusions to really find the answers that we might be asking, or the truth that's necessary for us that we're asking. So what are some of the illusions of that are at your foundation? What are some of the illusions that you've built your house on or your family on? That's not true. And so we're asking to look at what kind of non-reality have we created, and also to have confidence that we can create a new reality based on our visions. So ultimately, to me, with these gods at the table, right? Ultimately, to me, this transit feels like what's falling apart can feel like it's bringing us as a global community and personally closer to the truth beyond illusion. So we're getting to a space where we're wanting to see behind this matrix that we're living in. We want to get to the truth of the thing, and to let that truth, no matter how scary, no matter how crazy, because yes, we expect to see and the revelation of some scary kind of truth, to let that truth be the foundation, or that clearing, that clarity that we build our future on. And really, therein lies the power, is how clear, is how sound that foundation is, that we can now build our future. Of course, I would not be coming to you without some plants for support during this time. The first one I thought of was yarrow. And yarrow is a protector. It is for the wounds that we carry. It can help us shield from all the forces outside, and it aids in circulation and moving, lack of stagnation. And for one thing, I really feel like this transit is going to shake things up and move things out of any stagnation that we may have had. So yarrow is significant here. Peppermint, I'm also recommending, is truly significant here because it's great for any kind of mental clarity that you can have when all these energies are moving, right? So what is the clarity that we need to get to the peace that we need? Peppermint is also really great for digestive clarity. So it also honors our intuition at our core. It also honors that in this journey. So also peppermint can be used for digestive system disturbance and getting some clarity there so that we can see clearly. I have raspberry because I love raspberry for an efficient use of power. So know what to give and know what to hold, right? In this transit, how do you use your power, right? The energy of Pluto or the energy of Shango is often related to efficient use of power, when to give out and when to hold. So that is also coming up here. I also love nettles because nettles is great for nourishing our bodies and building us up through the winds of change. Through the winds of change, you have to have the capacity to handle it. And nettles builds the body's capacity to handle things because it's so vitamin dense and mineral dense, vitamin rich and mineral dense, so that we can get what we need so to sustain us through all these changes that might be coming. I also love Damiana here because Damiana speaks of reaching beyond the veil for that beautiful vision. I talk about the visions that Damiana gives you of your future. It's one of my best plant ally for dreaming of a future, for vision questing that future. And with the energy of Olokun or Neptune here, I'm asking you to reach beyond the veil, pay attention to your dreams, and pull your new vision of the future over to this reality that we're currently in. That's what I have to share. I hope this gives you a better understanding of what we might be dealing with. The peak of this transit is July 19th and 20th. We're here in the peak of this transit. So pay attention to what's changing and shifting around you, and your need to really understand and get to the truth of the matter is not something that's just passing. It is the moment. Getting to the truth of the matter, seeing beyond the veil, and standing in your power.
So, Ashe to the sister and her breakdown, beautiful, right? One of the greatest things that we witnessed this month was the highlighting of melanin black men breaking the quote-unquote veil at FIFA global stage. Let's talk about it. Who came in number 3 at the FIFA? Well, first, before we even get to the top 3, let's just talk about the quote-unquote the rise of Africa, the rise of the African, right? The rise of the melanated players in this whole FIFA tournament. Now, I know that there was FIFA every 4 years, but it never got our attention the way that this one has. Maybe because the North America was hosting it, you know, that played a part in whatnot. You know, the American media got their mittens on it, and you know, once they get their hands on something, they'll blow it up. However, prior to that, we got the NBA finals, right? With the whole entire team damn near being melanated. The one who wasn't melanated, he got benched. They didn't even pay attention to his ass. They was just focusing on the whole starting 5, and that was us. Then when we get to FIFA, Cabo Verde, right? Blowing, I'm talking about completely dominating the visuals and whatnot, right? Those being the ultimate underdogs. But then we had Mbappe. Then we had Jude Bellington and whatnot. Then we had, of course, Yamil, right? He's the new Messi, right? So the illusion, because even though we're in America, we're in USA and whatnot, let's just talk about what the FIFA and what football and what soccer means to the world, right? Let's talk about what soccer means to the world and whatnot. No, look, Rob, they had 3 brothers. 3 brothers. What was that, like last week or they all 3 was on the card. All 3 of them won. And their father was right there. Their father was right there. All 3 of them. And the one that had the belt got a knockout. He knocked homie straight out. Boop, boop. All of they dad was their coach, right? Shit, even Adrian Broner is on a motherfucking comeback on his hero's journey. So we saw the melanated players rise. We saw Cabo Verde rise. We saw Senegal rise. We saw France, their black players, they were shining, right? Mbappe, he got the golden boot, my nigga. So this illusion of these Europeans, this illusion of these Europeans being the best, all of that shit got scraped. You understand? It's done. And by 4 more years, when the 2030 come around, niggas is gonna be on some super sapien shit. You know what I'm talking about? They're gonna be on some 3 legs type shit. Like they're gonna be, you know what I mean? There's gonna be like the Globetrotters to soccer. You're gonna have dudes doing some crazy shit and with the neutrinos hitting and everything and the X flares. Nah, that bro, it's gonna be like the X-Men playing. So that veil is over with. That shit fell. It's people celebrating all around the melanated world right now. This shit is really serious for them because this is a colonizer hunger's game. This shit is symbolic in ways that we may never even be able to comprehend. We got other shit that we dealing with. But what I'm talking about is a collective type of consciousness. I'm speaking about turning on the divine spark. I'm talking about effervescence on levels that niggas have never seen. This is a rollout from the NBA finals. This man made Salat when he won. Talk black to me. Son made Salat. And there was Argentina was on the field today, fucking up, beating up on his teammates after they won. After they lost, they were sore losers. They didn't air it on TV, but I think I'll pull a clip. They was trying to beat up the other players while he was making Salat. He was unbothered. They couldn't come near him. He was prostrating on the field in front of millions, making Salat, bro. You know they was going crazy in Gaza and all of them places. Look, Spain is flying the Palestinian flag. Let's talk about it. Them niggas fly the Palestinian flag. So we're talking symbology for all of the haters out there who don't like to see shit past their nose and whatnot. Man, dip from my life. This is not about, I promise you, I'm going full out of, I'm going Odysseus on niggas. Get out my way. Get out of my way. I promise you, the shit'll be ugly. We cooking right now. This is a global conversation. Get out the way, bro. Let's get back to this basket. You know what I'm talking about? Don't miss the window. I'm gonna reach out to some of the guards and whatnot of the cosmophysicians and everything. I'm gonna see what we could cook up because we can't miss this window, bro.
Scorpio rising, I'm sure you've heard a lot of hype and spin around the Barbo basket. This is what it looks like in your whole sign chart. I want to break down all the components in this video. I'm Superboy, you're awesome. Let's talk about it. Primarily, this might not actually feel like an external event that happens to you, more so an internal revolution, very introspective, something about putting together the hours of your day and what does your lifestyle really look like? How do you spend your time? An underlying restlessness with your routine. Does your work, the way you take care of yourself, your daily task, does that really support where you really want to be? And ultimately, an awareness that something deeper within you is changing and asking to bloom. There is this supercharged kind of spine going through the center of your chart from the Jupiter-Pluto. And again, that is really introverted, internal, and reflective. And it's around the idea of how visible you really want to be. If financial circumstances are playing a role in this, is it time that you pivot from your career or life direction? Rebuilding your family, potentially, and finding more purpose in your daily life. Has there been some kind of spontaneous pivot when it comes to your financial circumstances? Have things got easier? Have things got harder? Have you adjusted to the new situation? Old fears, past resentments, some bitterness potentially is causing some very vulnerable emotions in this time. When it comes to those more intimate relationships, a real desire for close intimacy and raw honesty. You could be feeling like your partner has been questioning you, or you've become ruthlessly curious about the personal interests of your partner. Now, this doesn't have to be a romantic partner, romantic, business, platonic, or otherwise. It could also be the logistics around contracts and how they play out in real time. And with Saturn in the 6th house of health, you could really be starting to feel the wear and tear of burnout. This could manifest as fatigue or frustration with work, and with Jupiter moving into that 10th house of Leo, a certain sense of overwhelm. But as you will discover, this isn't all bad, and you're actually being asked these questions for a reason. Let's take a step back. This is made up of generational planets and a social planet, meaning that Jupiter's involved. Now, this basically means that you may not even receive an event. This may not directly impact you. More so, you become the observer of it in the cultural zeitgeist or society at large. So it's important to understand that there may not be some kind of isolated event that takes place. It's more nested in the context of the cycles that we're in. Now, back in 2000, generationally speaking, we saw a new generation birthed into the earth, let's say. And they're the first population of people that really don't know what it's like to not have access to the internet. Think about that. Now they're 20-something and they're going to gather momentum and have more and more influence around how they think society should be governed, who they vote for, who they don't vote for, who they give their attention to, who they don't give their attention to. And in particular, this aspect pattern has a lot to do with technology, so the way they integrate technology into their daily life. And so therefore, on a more individual level, how have you integrated technology into your daily life? The next flagship moment I can see in this ongoing cycle is around the financial crisis back in 2007, 2008, when we saw the rise of digital currency, and we also saw the rise of basically the veil being pulled away and us seeing that the government will ultimately bail out the banks before it helps the civilians. In other words, we saw the very visible public unsheathing of corruption and who really holds the power in our society, or at least the Western world, to say the least. Where I really want to start the clock is around 2020. Who were you then and who are you now? And what have you been through in this last 6 years? We're in a synodic cycle, and it started with the grand conjunction between, say, Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto, kinda. And so we're 6 years deep into this. And so now you probably have a new way of approaching life, new belief systems, new people in your life that you've actually allowed to get to know you in a more intimate way. Now, as this plays out, we have another 6 years. So again, this is probably not going to be an isolated event for this pretty rare aspect pattern. It's just going to be an unfolding of an existing cycle. And so again, it might not impact you directly. It could impact your siblings. It could impact your workplace or your industry. And it's something you actually observe or feel internally. Collectively, if you ask me, this aspect pattern is basically about techno-feudalism and the distribution of resources and information. How information is accessed between the population, let's say, and how much access to resources we have in terms of what we're allowed to see, what we're allowed to say, and what we're allowed to spend our money on. In the next 6 years, potentially from July, we're going to see an acceleration of things like digital ID and the need for digital currency from the powers to be. Now, the powers to be are losing their footing at this point, and society is very much changing. And so they're going to get a lot louder over the next 6 years and become potentially a lot more authoritarian. Whilst at the same time, there will be a new conglomerate or population of people from the grassroots up that totally reject technology and that totally reject this more authoritarian rulership over what we can see, who we can be, what we can buy, and what we can say. So whilst it is happening in a collective way, we can have a more surgical look at what it means for a Scorpio rising's chart. Let's break it down. Jupiter's moved into your 10th house. It usually means a little bit of overwhelm or exploration or discovery or exposure to your more visible self. Having opportunities that you could potentially step into or identify with moving forward. What are you building? And ultimately, what do you want to be recognized for? What is the legacy you feel like leaving behind? Typically, Jupiter in the 10th house is pretty successful, but it's not about what you receive in terms of success. It's about what can you learn about yourself? What is the meaning of this period? Jupiter is much more about long-term growth than short-term comfort in this situation for you. Jupiter is building towards an exact opposition with Pluto. And Pluto's down in your 4th house of, who you belong to, who you are when no one's watching. And so, although you might be trying to strive for greatness, you might be really ambitious and trying to grow your career, do you have that emotional foundation? Do you have that support at home? Have you found that mystical work-life balance? And more than anything, do you have security at home? Is there a place where you can actually relax and unpack and feel emotionally and materially comfortable when you're in those 4 walls? Or is there some kind of power struggle? Are you bringing the roles and responsibilities, cortisol and stress back from work to your home every day? And is that making things more complicated or uncomfortable for everyone that you live with? Or vice versa? Is there someone in your home that is bringing all their baggage from work back into that home or living situation? With Pluto moving through this 4th house, there usually is an unsettling, somewhat uncomfortable reconstruction, sometimes even crisis when it comes to the home or living situation. And so you could be dealing with that at home, and then when you go to work, there's so much overwhelm, maybe you're overcommitted, and you're starting to feel the burnout of both of these very important areas of your life. Sometimes Pluto and 4th house transits can actually bring loss. So you could be quietly grieving, or someone in the home is quietly grieving. So there is this kind of process of the home just feeling not comfortable or secure in this time because of such heavy emotions. As I said, it's not all bad, and there are ways to distribute this more heavy energetic signature by moving to the Uranus and the Neptune in other areas of your chart. Neptune's forming a fire sextile with Jupiter, and so this really wants you to think outside the box, really question, discover, explore, what your life means and what the legacy you want to leave behind actually might be, and striving for that, having faith and trust in yourself.
See, this, ladies and gentlemen, is all about ponderance, right? And what do you mean, Red? What I mean is from right now, from when we receive this information, all the way up into the 21st, or maybe up into the 23rd. I saw you in the chat, Rob, talking about Bobby Hemmett and his July 23rd pocket and whatnot. Contemplation, right? The ponderance, just pondering, just being able to sit back, maybe laying in the bed with the lights out, and then pondering what is taking place, pondering what it is that you're seeing, pondering what's coming into your life, pondering the people around you and whatnot, pondering the change that you want to see, pondering the things that are keeping you somewhat in a quote unquote Groundhog Day type of loop and whatnot. These are all dealt with ponderance. And the way that you break out of these ponderance is similar to how you could look at a math problem. You solve them by pondering upon them. You stare at a math problem and you ponder it. And by pondering it, you're able to solve it. That is the same exact thing that is taking place with some of these things going on. And what he's saying is this alignment, this perfect alignment is almost like a combination to unlock some of the locks that we're having on our lives, y'all. Everywhere around you, we might not play FIFA. We might not be into none of these sports. But I'm not a sports person. But I've seen enough. I've witnessed enough in the past few days for me to come and let you know, listen, something major is taking place, but it's taking place in a place that you might not realize when you're looking at it. You might look at it and say, oh, bread and circus. I'm looking at it and I'm like, no, nigga, this is a universal lesson. The FIFA is a universal game. Listen, let me let this lady talk to us. Let's see how big this shit is, so we could get off of our high horse. So many people on a high horse, you don't even stop to get no water. You staring a gift horse in the mouth and you can't see the gift.
Ever thought about the alchemy of the World Cup? Argentina fan here, by the way. All organized sports are occult rituals, but the World Cup and the Olympics are global collective occult rituals that we all participate in. And this is from somebody who wrote a master's degree on alchemy and occult rituals and symbolism. So let's get into some of the details, shall we? First off, we have the pitch, the playing field, the temenos, a Greek word for sacred ground. We know it's a temenos because it's marked off by white lines by the same logic as the magic circle or the mandala. The boundaries of the white lines are what manufacture consecrated space out of just ordinary grass. The green of the grass itself is the benedicta viriditas. Benedicta, benedictas, benedicta, benedictas. That's Latin for the blessed greenness, and it's a psychospiritual concept that was coined by Jung based on the work of the 12th century mystic philosopher Saint Hildegard of Bingen. What she called the viriditas was the vital life force, the creativity, the anima. If you want to be super alchemical about it, it's the symbol of the green lion of the alchemist devouring the golden sun. The green field swallowing the players in pursuit of the golden goal. And then the ball is the rotundum, the perfect sphere, the incorruptible stone that is kicked and beat and battered, but never injured. The ball is the symbol of completeness that's chased and captured, but never possessed for long. And then speaking of gold, notice the process of elimination, how team after team is burnt away until the final match, the final confrontation between two that ends in one who gets the trophy. The trophy being an 18-karat gold sculpture of two people holding up a globe, two people rising from the green holding up a golden globe, which is precisely the work of alchemy, burning away all the impurities until nothing is left but the gold. So every match is solve coagula. Every match, a team dissolves and a survivor coagulates round after round until a mass of 48 teams is distilled into one. The stadium as a whole is the vast hermeticum, the hermetically sealed vessel that the operation works in. And the heat, the fire, driving the whole spectacle, is the crowd. The collective affect of the people watching is the fire under the Olympic. And notice how even in sports, just like in our personal work, the work itself is mostly nigredo. 47 of 48 teams go home scorched, blackened, burnt, while one team comes out on top, so the tournament manufactures a lot more grief than gold. Even in sports, nigredo is the rule, blackening is the rule, and rubedo is the rare exception that only means something because of the mass dissolution around it. Dissolve the many and gather the one. A ritual of solve coagula playing on the television sets of people around the world. The still, the vessel, is not neutral, and the fire isn't shared out evenly.
Are y'all familiar with the negrito? The negrito. Are y'all familiar with the chemical romance taught by the Rosicrucians? It's a 3-part ritual. She's going the fuck in. Okay? I'm gonna rewind that real quick so we can understand what she's saying. This is literally all sports, right? This is, I mean, shout out to Dr. Frances Cress Wilson and how she breaks down the balls and everything. But this is metaphysical. This is going a little bit further into the metaphysical and the occult, right? The burning, the grief, right? You know what I'm saying? Like she said, out of the many, there's one. There can only be one, right?
Go home scorched, blackened, burnt, while one team comes out on top, so the tournament manufactures a lot more grief than gold. Even in sports, nigredo is the rule, blackening is the rule, and rubedo is the rare exception that only means something because of the mass dissolution around it. Dissolve the many and gather the one. A ritual of solve coagula playing on the television sets of people around
The solve et coagula. I was breaking this down when we were doing the AI masters and we were talking about the generator, operator, and destroyer. It's the same concept. Generator, operator, destroyer. Okay? People get hyped. Oh, it's Baphomet. It's Baphomet. That's a Baphomet. Nigga, if you niggas don't read a book or two, get out of here, bro.
the world. The still, the vessel, is not neutral, and the fire isn't shared out evenly. The green isn't equally green from one end of the field of nations to the other. The fire under the spectacle is the crowd, but the fire fueling the operation, the fire putting on the show, is capital. And capital has a history. Capital flows in a certain direction. Capital is extracted from certain places and then pumped into other places, so that the nations with the hottest furnaces, the best academies, the infrastructure to take a raw 11-year-old and refine him into international gold are very often the exact same nations that ran 3 centuries of extraction on the very places that this boy's parents hailed from. So the empire builds its furnace with stolen raw materials, and now it uses that same furnace to work the grandchildren and the children of the people that it carried it off from, turning those people into something useful for itself. Which is why "may the best team win" is the widest sentence in global sports. The field might look leveled, but the funding is not. Remember in 2018 when Trevor Noah made the joke about Africa winning the World Cup for France? 16 of the 23 players on that team came from families out of Africa: Cameroon, Morocco, Angola, Le Congo, Algeria. But it's the French team. Congratulations to the French team, the French team. The commentators repeat the word French team over and over like a spiritual girly trying to recite her manifestations. And the French ambassador to the United States was so appalled by Trevor Noah's joke that he felt compelled to write him a full-on diplomatic letter in response. All to say that calling them African denies their Frenchness. In French, there is no hyphen. There is no French Algerian or African French. France doesn't name its people by where they came from. France's people are French, period. The French ambassador wants it to be as above, so below. He wants a clear mirror where France is France and Africa is Africa, and the two only resemble each other politely across a fixed distance, if at all, with no debt running in either direction. The above, France, is self-made, spotless. It's the gold that was always already gold. But as we've said before, as above, so below is a violent mistranslation of a core alchemical concept. The above and the below are not like one another, they are of one another. The above is of the below, and the below is of the above. This deserves a video of its own, but even in this context, the point being that France today is made of the material that its leaders spent centuries ripping from the African earth. The ancestors of the boys on the French team were traversing the African continent long before France found them. And those boys whose bodies are African grew up in France, were refined in an academy in Lyon, funded with the French money and held up as French heroes the night that they win. And meanwhile, the Cameroon, Algeria, Morocco, all of Africa is still riddled and struggling with the impact of colonial France's violence. The above is of the below, and the below is of the above. Anyway, all this to say that the World Cup is a global occult ritual. It makes global statements, it harvests global attention, and it gives host countries a chance to demonstrate their global goodwill and hospitality, while also giving their economy's tourism sector a little boost. Beneath it all, running it all, is the capitalist machine. A machine that sells tickets and returns tickets, brings you into the experience, and then sends you back out into your life. And altogether, this whole ritual of the games functions to take the immense and overwhelming power that we acquire when we're together, when we're animated and excited together, and directs all of that fire towards the field, onto the teams and the players in this great green alembic, until someone wins and someone else dissolves, and all of us, burnt out and tired and having had our fun, go home to celebrate or grieve and recharge. But what do you think? Do you think there's a secret society and a cultic cabal behind all this? Or do you think it's all part and parcel of the indifferent and impersonal capitalist machine? Let me know in the comments. Love you. Bye.
Named Argentina after a mistake. So Spain v Argentina. Spain named Argentina after a mistake, a myth, a lie, that this land in South America was full of silver. Argentina, Argentum, means land of silver. This is the World Cup final, of course. My name's Joey. I'm a journalist and author. I'm making these videos for every World Cup game. So in the early 1500s, Spanish explorers heard rumours of a silver kingdom somewhere, that there was a whole mountain of it ruled by a white king. And so they named the river that runs into Buenos Aires the Rio de la Plata, the River of Silver. In 1536, a nobleman called Pedro de Mendoza sailed up and founded a city on its banks. It became Buenos Aires. But it was a disaster. The local Querandi people refused to feed them, justifiably perhaps, and the settlers were starving. One eyewitness said they were eating horses, then rats, then their shoes. And the city was abandoned, and then Buenos Aires was founded again 40 years later. But no silver was ever found there. The thing is, the silver was real, just not there. It was 1,000 miles away in Bolivia. It's a mountain the Spanish call Cerro Rico, Rich Hill, in Potosi, which is now Bolivia, one of the biggest silver deposits ever discovered. And Potosi became one of the biggest cities on earth. Indigenous people were forced into the mines, many of them died there, and they used to say there's enough silver there to build a bridge all the way to Madrid. The thing is, Buenos Aires got almost none of this wealth. Silver trade went the other way around via Lima and then back to Europe. The city on the river of silver in the land of silver was nowhere near the actual silver wealth. And then eventually Argentina had a revolution in 1810, became independent from Spain in 1816, but kept the name Argentina, land of silver. And the British, who had unsuccessfully tried to invade in the early 19th century, they came back again with money, and they built railways, owned the banks, and exported the beef and wool. And the origins of football in Latin America come from this interaction with the British. People who lived there changed. Millions of immigrants from Europe. The biggest groups weren't Spanish, they were Italian. And lots of Italian names in that Argentina team, but lots of Spanish too. You know, Messi is an Italian surname. So on Sunday, Argentina are playing Spain, and the silver was a lie, but the name stuck anyway. The trophy, gold, not silver. I write about this sort of thing in my weekly newsletter, so there's a link in my bio.
So the other day,
So with Argentina losing, right, symbolically Israel lost, okay? Because Argentina is the Israel of Latin America, right? And it's not just a regular game. This has very, very big implications. It's perfect alignment with BARBAULT'S basket, okay? I'm going to read some things about BARBAULT in the basket. Let us pull up, let's share a screen and let's read it together and whatnot, all right? You better take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime astrological event, right? In case you didn't already know, We're in the middle of one of the craziest, most unhinged months of the year, from an astrological perspective, at least. We're about to experience a massive planetary configuration for the first time in recorded history. We're about to experience a massive planetary configuration for the first time in recorded history. So when we talk about bread and basket and we be like, damn, there's so much shit going on, what are they trying to distract us from? You don't have to look that far. They're distracting you from the alignments. They're distracting you from the quote unquote these moons. They're distracting you from these retrogrades. They're distracting you from your window. That's what they're distracting you from. So you could be dealing with folly and whatnot. And by the time you realize some powerful shit done happened, you didn't ritualize it. You didn't do nothing but fuck off. That's the distractions. You had your thumb in your ass watching a game and whatnot, but you're not putting no magic to it. You're not incorporating none of your magic. That's what they're doing. They're distracting you, keeping you away from your magic, from tapping into your power. But not us. Not over here. We not about to get caught out there. We not about to miss a layup. We're not about to drop the ball. We're not about to not get the golden boot. What does this alignment yield? What does it mean for society? What does it mean for you? Behold, here's everything you need to know about BARBAULT'S basket. Trust me, it's going to be bananas. Slow down. What's going on astrologically right now? Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably noticed that 2026 has been astrologically stacked. Remember, we are in the fire horse year. Over the past year, several of the outer planets, the ones with enormous orbits that spend years and sometimes decades in a single zodiac sign, have been changing signs in rapid succession like a Rubik's Cube. Jupiter just into Leo, Uranus just into Gemini, Neptune shifted into Aries, and Pluto is settling into this long journey into Aquarius. All fire and air signs. That means that we're moving out of an era dominated by earth and water energy, focused on preservation, processing, and emotional integration, into one that is defined by fire and air, elements that are far more interested in action, experimentation, and possibilities. So before we get into this conspiratorial bag and give these white folks all of this damn power about why the heat is heating up and why the goddamn sun is doing what it's doing and why the goddamn fire is firing, go to the planets. Go to the planets first. As above, so below. Y'all are not doing top-down education. This shit is bottom up. I'm paying attention to a lot of people and I'm not pleased at what I'm seeing. They giving bottom up shit. Oh, the white man is, where's the cosmic conversations at? Where's the cosmic conversations at? How the hell y'all giving these people all of this power? It's because y'all say the word white supremacy. So you're kind of programmed to he's supreme in your eyes. He's supreme. He could never be getting cooked. He's supreme. He's doing everything. Everything is victim is coming. It's all happening to you. It's not happening for you. Crazy. Anyway, fire and air. Let's just focus on fire and air. From July the 19th through the 24th. That's a hell of a window. With the closest angles peaking on the 20th. Nigga, that's tomorrow or today, depending on where you at. Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto will all arrive at 4 degrees of their respective signs. Shout out to the 44 guard. Blue, blue, blue. And they said Alley Boy just died, and the last song that he put out was 4. Creating a rare geometric configuration known as a basket, which has never happened before. You, what a time to be alive. Your ass survived and you made it here. You're not dead. You're here. And that's all that matters. You're here to witness it. That gotta mean something. That gotta account for something. Shit can't be that bad, nigga. You're here and a bunch of people is not. Take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Pop your shit. Do your big one. Why is Barbault's basket important? Whenever the outer planets connect, astrologers pay close attention because their alignments happen very infrequently. For example, the aspect that Neptune and Pluto will be making this week hasn't happened in 40 years. In 40. Add Jupiter and Uranus into the mix, all arriving in a precise relationship with one another, and suddenly we're looking at something that has never occurred, a once-in-a-lifetime moment that synthesizes these archetypes and energies to epic proportions. Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and in Leo, it magnifies creativity, confidence, and performance. Uranus is the planet of disruption and innovation, and in Gemini, it accelerates breakthroughs in communication, technology, and the way information moves across the world. Neptune governs our collective dreams, ideals, and belief systems, and its presence in Aries prompts us to find new values worth fighting for. Pluto, meanwhile, continues its slow work through Aquarius, dismantling outdated structures in favor of systems built around collective progress, community, and liberation. Put all of these stories together, mythos, Fable 5, put them together, link them up, and it's easy to understand why astrologers are predicting big things. Once again, you have the permission, you have the motherfucking right, and you have the unmitigated gall to write whatever story that your mind's eye tells you to write. Fuck the rules, break them. Write your story, write yourself into the mythos. You seen the movie Ulysses and the shit, this Odyssey and everything, this breaking box office records. You write your own fucking mythos, write your own, put yourself in a hero's journey right now. That's how you do it. I don't care if it's a children's book. I don't care if it's a rhyme. I don't care if it's a poem. I don't care if it's a story. I don't care if you got to get a goddamn bullhorn and stand at the train station and talk your shit. Now is the time to do it. Forget what everybody say. You need to be scared of some shit and then face that fear. And that's where the magic is at. Don't do nothing that's comfortable. Don't do nothing that's comfortable. Do some shit that's uncomfortable right now. This shit has never happened before, so you don't have no point of reference as to if it will work or not. But guess what won't work? You doing nothing. That's what the fuck won't work. If you just be like, oh, I'm gonna go punch the clock. I'm gonna go trauma bond with my community. I'm gonna go have spiritual psychosis and fucking spaz out. No, not at all. We need to meditate. It's some shit going on in the cosmos. If you don't know, because a lot of y'all don't, because you're not tapped in, but we are fucking making power moves inside of our summer school. Facts. That's why y'all not even really seeing me on the YouTubes. Like, I'm working, not jerking. I'm working. And it ain't just me. I got witnesses, my G. We got students. We got people who believe in themselves and they believe in what the fuck we're doing. And they're tapped in. They're tapped in while people is on the sidelines hating and debating and pointing and doing all kind of dumb, goofy shit. We're working. We're building. We're doing new shit. Facts. In perfect alignment with the alignment, without even knowing about an alignment. We're aligned. We're aligning ourselves. Shout out to everybody that's doing the do. You don't gotta be in our class to be doing the do. I'm just letting you know that I want y'all to feel good. I want y'all to feel good that there's a small percentage of this network that's coming together to create things in real time. And it doesn't take much. We showing up.
my mind is blown every time we get up because they like, yo, I built this app, I built this site, I built this solution, I created this, I vibe coded this. Brrr. I'm like, damn, this is a summer for the record books. We really, man, when I go to the Invest Fest, I could talk my talk, bro. If they put me on one of them stages, I'm shutting it down. They talk about Streamers University. Yeah, Know the Ledge University. Know the Ledge. In one day of our university, we doing 10 times more than what they was doing at Streamer University. No disrespect to the youngins. But they out there playing games, doing goofy shit. Did y'all see Blue Pill in the fucking lab on 363 Empire? Farmy? Did you see what Blue Pill is building? Huh? Come on, man. What is Barbault's basket? Barbault's proposed that in July 2026, the basket will represent a meaningful shift in humanity's trajectory. He believed this alignment will mark the beginning of a more cooperative, equitable era, especially emerging from the darkness of the pandemic. Broadly, Barbault had high hopes for this movement, and given his phenomenal track record, that definitely feels like a positive thing. So what's going to happen? Shit, nobody knows. This configuration has never happened before, so there isn't a historical playbook that we can reference. Alas, nigga, do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? That means that you have a lot of silly putty and clay in your hand, and you literally could build whatever you want to build. You're living in the age of the mythos. Nobody can tell you anything. The Higgs boson is in Higgs field, niggas. Huh? We can evaluate the quality of the aspects, and those are encouraging. July's basket is largely made up of trines and sextiles, aspects that astrologers generally consider supportive. Quick refresher: aspects simply refer to how the planets are aligning, and aspects are usually defined as either hard or more challenging, or soft and easier. Trines and sextiles are the latter. So if you felt that you've been pushing against a locked door for the past few years, perhaps it will finally swing open as July's basket unfolds. Just be sure to keep your fingers away from the hinges. Of course, you spent time on TikTok lately. You've probably seen your fair share of doomsday predictions as well. Extreme takes tend to perform well on the internet. Rage bait is what they call it. But astrology and life at large is much more nuanced. A period of sweeping societal change almost always creates winners and losers, comfort and discomfort, excitement and resistance. Whether this moment feels positive may ultimately depend on your perspective, your values, and your willingness to embrace change rather than resist it. Who's going to be the most impacted by the basket? The short answer: everyone. These are generational planets describing collective evolution. So every single one of us is participating in this story, whether we know it and realize it or not. You'll probably notice shifts in the conversations that we're having, the technologies that we're embracing, and even the values that we define ourselves by. Years later, when we look back, it may be very clear to see that the change took place by way of this powerful July basket. On a personal level, there's one detail to pay attention to. All 4 planets are aligning at 4 degrees. So if you have any planets or points in your birth chart at 4 degrees, you'll experience this energy more directly. To calculate your natal chart, right? Any planets at 4 degrees are going to be specifically activated by this configuration. For example, if you have Mercury at 4 degrees, you may experience a major breakthrough in communication in the days ahead. If you have the moon at 4 degrees, this could bring an emotional revelation that changes how you understand yourself and your emotions at large. With something this tremendous happening at such specific point in the sky, folks who have the signature in their charts will surely be the first in line to experience the impact. All right, so for all of my people, go and pull up while we're on the show, because I'm cooking right now. I'm in the kitchen. Go and look at his chart, and go and look at his chart. The two players from Spain, go and look at the brother who hit the home runs. Go and look at Kai Cenat and I Show Speed and tell me who has 4s in their charts. Okay. Whoever could get all of these people, I will give you a ticket to the next workshop that we're having. There's basically a $100 ticket. You'll get a ticket from me if you could pull that up before we get up out of here tonight. Go and do your research, please. You know what I'm saying? I want to know who has 4 degrees in their motherfucking charts, because I saw these men winning on global stages. Big boy, black boy joy this fucking weekend. Big shit. They went big. They went hard. Kai Cenat is a fucking legend. I Show Speed is a fucking legend. Yamil out of Spain is a fucking legend. And my dude, the Walker dude, fucking legends. Okay? All of that was this weekend during the alignment. Let's talk about it. They showing the fuck out. Okay? I don't care how nobody feels about any of them. You could boof your feelings. Nigga, we talking occult talk. There ain't no feelings in the occult.
Beat by the OG colonizers. Suck it, bitch. Dusty bitch. They had 1 shot on the goal the entire game. 1. This is what happens when you have to face. They gave them the easiest schedule, the entire tournament, and they had to face an actual team. That's what happened. 1 shot on the goal. Well, at the end, maybe 3 or 4 shots on the goal. That's it. Sucks to.
Just 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was in my mom's house, in my mom's room, streaming, barking. Suey! Cristiano Ronaldo, Suey, lighting my house on fire. A kid from Ohio, Portugal, just doing anything.
Ohio, Portugal.
And I just performed at the World Cup final.
I was sitting there with my daughter watching him perform, and I literally teared up. His father's right there with the hat on. Right, and that's his brother with the black shirt on. I literally, and this came naturally. I literally teared up watching this black boy joy. I don't know what be wrong with people, y'all. Y'all gotta check your heart. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all gotta check your heart, because the hate that y'all have for black boys and black men that's out here doing. These are teenagers. The hate.
Just 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, I was
in
my mom's house, in my mom's room, streaming, barking. Suey! Cristiano Ronaldo, Suey! Lighting my house on fire. A kid from Ohio, Portugal.
He's on a generational run. He's on a generational run. FIFA paid him to stream. He was on a FIFA tour. They're paying this young man with 54 million YouTube followers who was barking like a dog when he first came out, right? But now he's performing and opening up FIFA. What are we talking about? Y'all need to, they say your heart should be light as a feather. Y'all don't have no fucking kids, bro. Y'all don't have no children. What's going on with this community? Y'all don't have no hearts. Y'all don't have no children, bro. This shit is scary, man. Y'all need to check. Y'all need real talk. And I'm not talking to nobody in particular, but niggas need to check their hearts. Bro, spiritual psychosis is real. I am not going to be a part of no community that's identified by hate. I can't do it. I did my part. I'm not going to be a part of no hateful movements. I'm not going to be a part of no hateful community. I can't do it. It's not good for my skin.
Just doing anything. And I just performed at the World Cup final.
See what I'm talking about? A lot of hate, bro. Motherfuckers claim that they be metaphysical, but you're not. Y'all looking at things from some stupid ass perspectives that I can't respect. You know? And they don't got nothing to do with I show speed. It's overall. Unnecessary baggage, yes. People need to grow up in this community fast, bro. The reputation globally is funky. The reputation is funky, bro. I promise you. While you got niggas that was barking, moving up the ladder.
Hi, Auntie Bev here with another word to help you build your vocabulary and a little history lesson about Argentina on the side. The vocabulary word is blanqueamiento. Blanqueamiento is a Spanish word, and in English it means ethnic whitening. Now here's the history lesson about Argentina. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, Argentina participated in a blanqueamiento project. They encouraged lighter-skinned individuals to marry other lighter-skinned individuals to produce lighter-skinned offspring. This was a social, economic, and political practice to improve the white race. They wanted to construct a European and national white identity. So that may very well explain why today's Afro-Argentine population is less than 1%. And it may also explain why there are no black players on their soccer team. Blanqueamiento. Add that word to your vocabulary bank and make it your time, your shine. Auntie Bev speaks.
Black men. These children need you, bro. Black men. These sons need you, bro. We're seeing the effects of what these fathers can do in these sons' lives. We need you, bro. Get your shit together. The black men that are going through mental health crises and everything, that feel unappreciated, that feel unseen. We need you, bro. The fathers that can't see their children and whatnot, and they're getting pushed out of their children's lives. Bro, we need you. Hold on. I'm telling you, even if you ain't been in that child's life for mad years, try to find a way back, bro. They need you. You cannot do nothing to play yourself out of position and shit like that, bro. I promise you. Get away from the people that are doing, I don't give a fuck if they're doing something right now and it looks cool and everything. If they're doing anything that will threaten your freedom, cut them off and get away from them. It's not worth it. Fuck the money. Fuck the fame. Get away from them. Your freedom means everything right now. Don't get trapped because they out here laying mad traps. Trust me. So let's go ahead and do the reading on the charts. Thank you for the powerful students in the building. I appreciate y'all showing up and doing what. Look at that. Come on, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So if we want to be in alignment with the alignment, it's some things that we're gonna have to sacrifice starting right now, bro. We gotta drop some shit. If it's things holding you down and holding you back and drowning you, you gotta let it go. This is the time to do that. ODG, send me your email so I could send you a ticket, bro. I'm gonna stand on my word. I got you. Look at you. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they slave catching, they lining the young gods up and everything. They hating on the melanin. But look, the whole Argentina was designed and put together to stop what you see in front of you. This is their kryptonite. They lost. The spell got broken today by that victory. I'm telling you how powerful that FIFA spell was, bro. They lost, and is it real loss at the same time? Facts. If you want to meditate on that, push that into the universe. That whole shit came tumbling down today. Super facts.
The Illuminati acting as a front organization for the If you truly want to understand what's happening today, one need look no further than the French Revolution. The Illuminati, acting as a front organization for the Jesuits, used the writings of the Jesuit-trained Voltaire to facilitate the creation of the Jacobins. The primary goal of the Jacobins was to incite absolute fury and rage within the blind masses, a pattern which is repeating today. They agitated the public by chanting the Masonic watchword liberty, equality, fraternity, which served as nothing more than psychological bait to rile up the unthinking populace, plunging the nation into so much anarchy and bloodshed during the Reign of Terror that the exhausted people ultimately begged for a leader to restore order. That dictator was the high-level Freemason and Jesuit-advised Napoleon Bonaparte. He was placed into power by the Jesuit-trained priest Abbé Sieyès. Napoleon was then used by the Jesuits to exact calculated revenge against the Bourbon and Habsburg monarchs of Europe who had suppressed the order in 1773. The Illuminati is still active today, and one should not be fooled into thinking they have abandoned their efforts to rile up the mindless masses and mobilize them to accept a new order. The Jesuits always create the problem so that they can provide the solution they wanted all along. For example, during 9/11, everyone looks at the Jewish and Israeli involvement in the problem, but no one realizes that what actually pushed us closer to the New World Order was the solution to this problem, signified by the Patriot Act, which was crafted by the Jesuit-trained Viet D. Dinh, who was a law professor at the Jesuit Georgetown University. It was rushed through the system impossibly fast, suggesting it was pre-planned. As Bill Hughes notes in The Secret Terrorists, quote, "Just 6 weeks after the World Trade Center was destroyed, this bill was passed. This is truly amazing. It is virtually impossible for a bill to be conceived, written, debated, and passed this quickly." You see, they already had the bill written before the tragedy occurred. After the French Revolution and the subsequent restoration of Europe's monarchs, the Jesuits realized that hereditary monarchies were too independent and difficult to control. As a result, they shifted their strategy to propping up absolutist, socialist, communist, and fascist military dictatorships. This is exactly how Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, and Joseph Stalin came to power. World War II was simply a trial run for what is about to happen next, as the same scenario used to establish the Third Reich is planned for the United States. To anyone with eyes to see, the masses are already being riled up and baited to accept the new movement. There will most likely be another fascist dictator coming to power soon, brought in by engineered domestic crises to fulfill the Jesuit order's vision of global totalitarian control. For more info on all of this, what's about to happen, and how to prepare, comment truth and I'll send you my new book which covers all this and more.
Each one of these men who was on the world stage, this strong in, right? Each one of these men that were on the world stage in front of the world, right? This strong in, right? Kai Cenat had Streamer University. The numbers that they were doing were astronomical, okay? He was on a world stage. Kai Cenat did something, he established himself. He returned back to streaming after quitting and whatnot, because he said he wanted to focus on his mental health and he wanted to learn how to read. People might laugh at that, they might ridicule, but as a father and whatnot, as somebody who I've been doing the research on the illiteracy rates amongst our children, and we know that they build the prison to the prison public school to prison pipeline based off of the 4th grade reading results, I believe. I found that honorable. You understand? I found that honorable. I said that was one of the most powerful things that the youth have seen from a very long time because of how significant Kai Cenat is in their lives and whatnot, right? Boom. So he goes and quits streaming. Then he comes back and he starts the Streaming University. And the Streaming University gave highlights to hundreds of new streamers, new personalities, new storylines, all type of things and whatnot. There was a bunch of stories that came out of the Streaming University, more positive than negatives, right? Just so happens that he's in alignment with his fours in I'll tell you that in a minute, right? Okay. So think Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, Uranus in Gemini, and Jupiter in Leo. All right. Boom. We'll get to that in a minute. Then you had I Show Speed, who literally opened up the FIFA today. He performed in front of millions, if not billions and whatnot. He went on a super legendary run. I'm not going to put 1 and 2 against each other. I'm not going to say which one is bigger, which one is more significant, because they both play different parts and whatnot. Kai Cenat does what he does, and I Show Speed can never do what he does, and Kai Cenat can never do what I Show Speed does. They're two twin towers in terms of how they are in how they have the minds of over 1 billion people. Like, they have influence over damn near 1 billion people at this point, mostly the youth. Okay, but this strong end, because of their demonstration inside of the basket, will propel them 30 years into the future. Okay, they're not going to turn down after this. They're literally going all the way up as a result of this. Their timing is impeccable. Okay, their timing is impeccable. They're going to go up. All right, the doors will open up for them. For Yamil, the doors will open up. He is going up. A star was made this weekend. This is all about the alignment. This is what this alignment was, right? Let's talk about the aspects of the alignment that makes the legends. Okay, let's talk about the aspect of the alignment that makes the legends. But first, we're going to do a planetary breakdown. The babies can't read but want to tote cannons. The babies can't read, but they could think, right? The babies can't read, but they could stream. The babies can't read, but they could do improv. The babies can't read, but they could tap into what is known as the creator economy. Them niggas could create. You understand? So we're talking economics, right? Because that's if they're doing something, they got to be doing it for something other than clout. They're getting paid. So even though they may have problems with the reading part, they're creating. And Kai Cenat, with him going and taking time off to learn how to read, he hopefully has inspired the other youth and whatnot to read. But fuck reading right now. They could think. And there's people who could read, who got PhDs, but they can't make $1 in the creator economy. They don't know how to go viral with all of that smarts, with all of that information, with all of them damn degrees. They can't get right in the creator economy. And you got a goddamn 8-year-old going getting right. You got 9 and 10-year-olds getting right. Not to take anything away, not to say that it's okay. I'm just sharing with you, this new economy is not based off of the shit, the instructions or some of the things that made our engines run before. Similar to how certain cars were going off of the gas and the petrol, then there's these electric cars that don't do the same thing. Yeah, it's sort of like this new generation. They can think. They can see. They're psychic. They're creative. We got to teach them how to read. I feel that where's the parents? Where's these old heads? Where's the elders coming up with new ways to teach them how to? They just showed you that Robin Maxwell in the textbooks was Fugazi. So yeah, these children have an adverse to quote unquote the public education system, but god damn it, there's maybe reasons for that. Where the fuck is the parents at? Trying to go viral, trying to stream, right? Yeah, parents is trying to stream and shit. And the kids need to learn new ways on how to think, new ways on how to put thoughts together, new ways. And if the parents don't step up, they're gonna learn how to do it anyway. But I'm here to let you know this. They're not gonna starve. They might not know how to read like you, but they're not gonna starve. I promise you that. They're gonna get to a bag or two. So Pluto and Aquarius. What are the themes of Pluto and Aquarius? Technology, right? Look, the technology breakthroughs that are happening as we speak is crazy, my G. You might not know about it, But I'm here to let you know this shit right here. This is Kimmy 3, nigga. This shit right here is a monster. This shit is such a monster that on the 27th, if America does not respond, they're going to have a collapse inside of their quote unquote stock market, because this Chinese model right here is here to disrupt all of those expensive ass frontier models in America. This is a disruptor. This is a killer in the technology world. This shit is a beast. I could build a website with one prompt. As I'm on the show, I could build a website while I'm talking on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, this thing is a monster. Technology is here, and it is literally open source, meaning that when they release the open weights on the 27th and whatnot, when they release them open weights, if you have the infrastructure, if you have the hardware, you literally could run a supercomputer free of charge on a local computer. My nigga, that is a breakthrough unlike anything that the world has ever seen. Okay, Pluto and Aquarius, collective movements, AI, social revolutions, new forms of governance. You just heard Mark Rubio say we are bringing in the digital ID. He just said that in a press conference. They're about to lock this shit the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? They're about to lock it down. They're locking it down because they're reading the same shit that I'm reading. This is a reaction. This is a reaction. Possible manifestation, AI governance debates, new economic systems, decentralized communities, massive shifts in social networks, right? So that is Pluto and Aquarius, right? That's how Pluto and Aquarius gets down. We got Neptune and Aries. What are the themes of Neptune and Aries? New ideologies, spiritual warriors, identity rebirth, new myth and heroes. So Anthropic, the lab out of America, one of the top labs, the lab that's involved with all of the wars, the same lab that brought Maduro from Venezuela to America, the same AI that killed the supreme leader in Iran. This is fucking Claude. This is the same lab that everybody is using. They're Claude, but they came out with a new model called Mythos and Fable 5. That's what Kimmy is out here trying to Kimmy is out here trying to disrupt Fable 5 and Mythos 5, because that is the quote unquote Neptune and Aries. But Mythos, right? Mythos and Fable 5 is so powerful that if the inside of our group Imaginarium, we are creating new myths and new heroes using the technology, and a whole bunch of people around the world are doing it simultaneously as well. There's nothing that nobody could do to stop it. Can you stop a song from coming out? Can you stop a nigga from recording a song in a booth? Can you stop somebody from dancing? Well, you can't stop nobody from thinking. Okay, so check this out. Uranus and Gemini. Themes: communication revolutions, media disruption, AI acceleration, and information warfare. Historically, Uranus and Gemini periods have coincided with communication revolutions and major geopolitical shifts. Somebody is about to be assassinated before the 25th. Okay? A big dog is going down. Facts. Why people say this is important. Some astrologers describe the July 2026 as a symbolic collective reset because almost all outer planets recently changed signs. Fire and air elements dominate this pattern. The aspects are mostly harmonious rather than destructive. So there's a bunch of harmony going around the world right now because Spain won. There's a bunch of harmony enveloping the planet because Spain beat Argentina, albeit their history. We know about that. However, Spain is waving the Palestinian flag. So archetypically, from an archetypical perspective, they're the good guys right now. Okay, they win against Trump. They said F Trump. They said F is it real? So on the global stage, there's G.I. Joe and Destro, or G.I. Joe and Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander is your man Trump, Peter Thiel, Ben BB, and all of them. And then there's the G.I. Joe teams. There's the people who stand for, quote unquote, the rights of the people. And that's anybody waving the Palestinian flag. I Show Speed is a Palestinian supporter. Yamil, you're going to see him at the ticker tape parade wrapped up in the Palestinian flag. Even the Spain president, or whatever the hell, the head nigga in charge, they was wrapped up in the Palestinian flag. So around the world, they're feeling like they won. Africa is feeling like they won. That's their child right there. Yamil is their child. They can't identify with fucking Messi. So with all of these alignments, this has led some people to frame it as a potential new era movement, right? However, claims that it will definitely produce miracles or sudden enlightenment are speculative, right? Let's not look for something to happen immediately, like some miracles or some fucking magic trick. No, the seeds are planted. The seeds are planted. The seeds are planted. It's occurring right now, nigga, in front of your face. Astrologically, the symbolism, it fits remarkably well. Jupiter and Leo. The World Cup is arguably the largest Jupiter and Leo event possible. Global celebration, national pride, hero creation, massive entertainment spectacle. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Leo. That's Jupiter and Leo. Blame the planets. Blame the procession. Okay? They lined it up. What do we expect out of that? New legendary players emerging. Those two melanated men right there standing between the World Cup. Those are the two heroes, and Mbappe, right? But these two right here, those are the ones who emerged. The Negrito, after this ritual, out of many comes two, but really one. And it's Yamil, number 19. The little nigga, he was being bathed by Messi in a tub. They got a picture with us. He was being bathed by Messi in a tub, bro. We can't make this shit up. You know what I'm talking about? Like 18 years ago, the nigga Messi was bathing him on some I'm trying to help the poor. I'm trying to help the poor. He was doing community service, bathing the same person that came and took his head. Huh? You can't write this shit. People are like, nah, this is scripted. Well, it's a goddamn cosmic script. It's a cosmic script. I'm talking about. Somebody said that's his son. You know, I gotta pull it up. I got the picture right here. I need to show y'all. Y'all might not have seen it. I don't want to assume that we all have seen it. Matter of fact, Tangi did it. Hold on, Tangi.
Why is he bathing a baby? Why is that part of a commercial for a grown man to bathe a random baby? You have a grown man, he bathed a baby for a commercial. And now these two players are playing in the final at the World Cup against each other. Why was that part of a commercial? This is what I want us to discuss openly and honestly. Why was that a viable commercial? I don't care how long ago it was. It was a contest. Bring your baby, and they're going to be part of a commercial. The player is Messi, whatever. They didn't even know he wasn't even who he is today. But part of the commercial was meeting one of the players on the team, and it just so happened to be him. And the baby that won the contest is in a photo and Messi is bathing him. He's naked in a baby bathtub and Messi is bathing him. And they thought that was the photo op. They thought that was a good idea. Open something. Open the window, open the blinds, open your eyes, open something. Open something. This is weird. Who authorized that? That's not weird to y'all? That's not suspicious? Knowing what we know now and the files are out and all the things are happening, that ain't suspicious to y'all? That this grown-ass man is bathing a random person's baby in a commercial about soccer? About football? What were y'all doing there? Like 10 million people have signed a petition to kick Argentina out of the World Cup, alleging referee and FIFA favoritism. There's a petition online, over 10 million people, 10 million. It's not a lot of things that 10 million people agree on at one time. The online petition is argentinaout.com. It demands that Argentina is removed from the 2026 World Cup, and it has surpassed 10 million signatures, and it was launched amid referee bias allegations favoring Lionel Messi, who was in the photo bathing the baby, and the defending champions. It gained traction before their semifinal against England, which they won. Organizers claim FIFA officials have predetermined the winner. However, the petition holds no legal weight and is unlikely to affect the tournament. No, nothing's going to be done. That's the reason I'm saying this. No one cares. They're not going to do the right thing. They're not going to listen to you. You just sign something and now you're trackable and traceable, and your IP address has been logged. That's it. I've already predicted that Argentina is going to win. This is 100% everyone's fault. No one should have came to the U.S. No one should have thought we were going to be mature about the situation. No one should have thought we were going to play fair. No one should have thought we were going to be sportsmanlike and have sportsmanlike conduct. No one should have thought that at the worst cup.
So once again, we're talking about the fall of a whole entire. Remember, this scene right here, it's like a movie scene because Argentina is forever going to be painted with this brush. They didn't come in here with their reputation in shambles. They left though with everything destroyed in a new quote unquote, like I said, Moors in Spain. This is Moors in Spain. This is a Moor inside of Spain. Right? And he destroyed not only the reputation, the falsehood, right? That's what this alignment is about, destroying these old guards and whatnot. A hero is born.
Your final score from New York, New Jersey in the 2020.
Keep in mind, Donald Trump was there. All of the celebrities were there. And Argentina is on the field at the end of the game after they got defeated, literally popping off on Spain.
Your final score
this shit like a game
New
fight.
Jersey in the 2026 FIFA World Cup final. Your final score from New York.
Let's talk symbolism. Let's talk symbolism. The great divine speaks through signs. Let's talk about how this is, bro, these guys are all paid actors. Let's talk about how this is being interpreted by people around the world who practice this religion, the billions of people that practice this religion, the billions of people that needed this type of symbolic win. You understand? And then they have this young man, this 2-year-old paid actor right here. Let's check out this 2-year-old actor. Man, he's doing real good in acting class. Shit. That's the star. That's the star. That's the star. Right? With all of his acting, that they all of the scripts that he's fucking reading and whatnot. With all of the scripts that the young god is reading, he's the star. Right? The same kid, they would kick him in his ass and whatnot and be like, you know, treating him like the lowest of the lowest in Spain. But they have no choice. They have to bow down. They have to bow down. You know what I'm talking about? They have to bow down and respect this man, this young 2-year-old or 3-year-old and whatnot, because that's the brother of Yamal. And his natural spirit, right? He just want to see his brother win. He just want to support his brother. He just there because of brotherly love, right? He just has a winning heart. Okay? So when they decide that they want to be super racist against people, the Moors that are in Spain, when they want to decide that they want to be racist all around South America and Latin America, and they destroy these young boys and whatnot, and they purposely kill black boys and whatnot all around the world. Uranus and Gemini plus Pluto and Aquarius. What are the possible manifestations? Uranus and Gemini, Pluto and Aquarius. You might be looking at an AI World Cup. Now, this World Cup was heavily integrated with AI. Okay, it was heavily integrated with AI commentators, real-time translations, advanced fan experiences, massive social media virality. That's how they had iShowSpeed, who has 58 million followers. I told my dad about him. He was like, what the fuck? 58 million followers on YouTube. They were paying him to go live. He didn't show up and was like, yo, I want to go live. No, he was on, they was paying him. Okay. They wanted the virility. They wanted him to go viral, which he did many, many times. Right. But some of the times was for the wrong reasons. Argentina fans were they was throwing shit at him and making like monkey sounds and all of that. And they wound up banning 2 of the Argentinian fans for life from the FIFA games and whatnot. But they cut a check to that young man. You know what I mean? They was cutting checks to the streamers, you know? So that's Uranus and Gemini, Pluto and Aquarius. Okay. Digital collectibles and tokenized fan engagement. Okay. The media revolution aspect of it is the most technologically integrated World Cup ever. Imagine what it's going to look like in 2030 with technology. Neptune and Aries, what are the possible themes? New football heroes becoming cultural symbols. New football heroes becoming cultural symbols. People will be like, oh, y'all taking this personal. Y'all not, let a teacher teach. New football heroes becoming cultural symbols. I was saying it from the giddy up. I'm like, yo, this is I already see. I know what I'm looking at. They're positioning this young man to be a hero. It's deeper than what you think it is. This is some Moors in Spain type shit. I was so inspired. I went and made this. This is how you get to the bag. You know what I mean? Y'all already know what it is, but I just gotta remind people, like, y'all. I don't know what people do with the information. I don't know if they just sit around and play with it, but we have to bring this shit to life. We have to actualize it. So AI has been helping me design to the point where, this shit right here about to crash the internet when we launch it, right? But this is what we pushing. The symbolism, nigga. And when you see symbolism, you got to work on it, because the symbolism is going to get you paid. The fuck? I'm a part of the mythos, nigga. I'm a part of I'm tapping into the mythos. I ain't sitting around hating. I'm going to sit around and eat, because I know what I'm looking at. And I know what to do with it. This is my basket. The fuck? This is my basket. I'm in my bag. Let me tell you something. You need to get in alignment. You know what I'm talking? Get in alignment. Get in alignment. Whatever your favorite artist is, put that shit on and get in alignment. Tap in. Because ain't nothing going on but the rent. Motherfuckers be sitting around doing nothing. Don't got nothing to show. Don't got nothing to, nothing. Not a thing. Get in alignment. There's things going on right around you. You got to learn how to alchemize this shit, fam. You got to turn this into something that's going to work for you. Huh? I'm about to body invest fest. What are we talking about? Now I got an alignment. I made these about weeks ago. I was just waiting for the young boy to get the chip. So this is my way of betting. I'm not a betting man. I don't do betting. This is how I bet on myself. Fuck Polymarket, not fuck Polymarket, but fuck FanDuel, because Polymarket and FanDuel is different. I respect Polymarket because it's a prediction market. So if anybody says that they could predict the future, if anybody says that they could predict anything using the sciences, you show up and let's go to Polymarket. Other than that, I don't believe you. But this is how I bet on myself. I put myself into the future by doing what? By I read the signs. I knew what was happening. I knew what I was looking at. So what did I do? I did something. I'm not even selling. When I get on my marketing, this is going around Europe. I'm not even marketing this. I'm marketing this to Africa. I'm marketing this to West Africa. I'm marketing this to the Middle East. I'm marketing this to the people in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Spain. That's what I'm marketing outside this bitch, because they understand. They get it. You'll have niggas over here talking about, is that a dirty more? Yeah, we cooking. I'm about to make some streaming university lines. Yeah, Scorpion King, 10 years old. We got a merch pack. The fuck? That's how you line yourself up with the moon, with the basket. You create. You don't hate. You create. You don't miss the opportunities. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. So you don't gotta get ready. You know? So that's just a little glimpse. Y'all gotta just excuse me. It's late. I gotta, you know what I mean? Gotta talk my shit sometimes, man. I don't want to offend nobody, but god damn it. This alignment got a nigga charged. You know? Neptune and Aries, possible themes. New football heroes becoming cultural symbols. Young stars embodying new identities. The images you posted will symbolize young multicultural athletes, diaspora representation, Black and African heritage visibility, new archetypes replacing older sports narratives. Huh? And I'm going to leave it at that. There's such a thing called overkill. That's not what I'm into. I think there's enough. There's enough information that got put out tonight. I don't want to overdo it. We're going to continue to talk about this until this window closes. So we'll be back for Melanin Monday, part 2 of this shit. Bar butt basket, part 2. I might bring some hitters with me to come in and come take shots. I might bring some shooters with me. This is a block that we finna spin a few times. You feel me? You smell me? It ain't over. I just want us to get this information and actually do something with it right now, because you can do it. You can do it.
Meet David Roulette, an army vet who threw boiling hot water.
You can do it.
This is a PSA to Bob.
Andy Serkis says the racist things he does. New call unlocked.
Let me show you something.
me show you something.
58 million.
So this is called redemption. This is called redemption. Once again, just because I use I Show Speed as an example, don't mean that you got to go follow I Show Speed. Don't worship I Show Speed. I'm using archetypes as example that are on global stages. That's how teachers teach. But this right here is called redemption. This is why that win was so sweet. This is why people are elated and whatnot. Look at what he went through.
Bro, stop going though. Y'all just gotta relax. Y'all don't gotta throw stuff. It's all love. Just
That's
watch
Argentina.
the game. I love you, man.
This was Argentina treating this young man like a piece of crap.
Let me show you something.
58 million. Bro, stop going though. Y'all just gotta relax. Y'all don't gotta throw stuff. It's all love. Just watch the game. I love you, man. Watch the game. It's all love. Stop going though. Bro, get them. Hey, get them, bro. Get them. They keep going stuff. Stop throwing stuff, bro. Don't worry about me. Watch the game. Stop throwing stuff, bro. Stop throwing stuff. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm really mad. Like, I'm really pissed, bro.
So when Spain won, he started crying. He got 58 million followers, right? The only thing Argentina did was make themselves look like pigs to 58 million young kids. You understand? They lost. All of them are losing. Donald Trump got booed. They said that they could hear it in Brooklyn, and they was all the way in Jersey. They losing. Don't fall for nothing. This shit is a wrap. Ponder on that. You might want to ponder on that for a few days. Get in your bag. Ponder on this whole shit falling apart. We literally spoke. We gave all of these videos we played, and we broke it down. We broke it down. Black boy joy, nigga. That's what we working on. Black boy joy. Pluto and Aquarius, collective empowerment. Jupiter, Leo, celebration and visibility. Uranus and Gemini, new narratives and voices. We moving this shit. Fuck you mean? Black boy joy. We moving this thing. Huh? We the program. Stop playing with us. Stop playing in our face. We the program. Y'all be trying to push us out the way like we ain't in the fucking run. We the program. What you talking about? Huh? Stop playing with us. Dead ass. Y'all counted us out. Stop playing with us. Black fathers, stop letting people play with you. Black sons, stop fucking letting people play with you. Nigga, you're not second. You the program. You the fucking birthday. Fuck you mean? That part. Celebrate us. Celebrate us. Don't mourn us. Don't trauma bond because of the shit. We celebrate us. Celebrate us. Stop playing with us. Give us ours now. We running this shit. We carrying this shit. We catch the motherfucking W. This is our chip. 2026. What are we talking about? Shout out to the black woman, of course. Mama. Big mama. Sun, moon, and the star. Okay? It's the Trinity. You would try to cut us out and make it only one. No, it's three. It's Heru, Osar, and motherfucking Offset. Let's get our math together. That part. Peace, love, and light. I'll catch up with you.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North America, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Best.
Crumb TV.